We're asked to write a function named forAll that takes a vector and returns 1 true if all the elements are positive and 0 false if there are any non-positive elements. So it's going to be a logical function where it's going to return a value of true if all of the elements are positive. Okay? So the later part is kind of giving us a hint of if we want to know if all the elements are positive, we could alternatively think of it as if we find an element that's non-positive, then that means it's false, exit. So maybe assume that the answer is true, check to see if we have any non-positive numbers, and if we do, then it's false, and then we don't need to search anymore. Okay. So let's go ahead and write the corresponding MATLAB function. Okay, so here I am over in MATLAB, and so I'm going to create a function. So my Home tab, I'm going to go ahead and click the new Script button. Okay. And add documentation. This will be, so this is a, we'll write as a logical function to check if all of the numbers, or all of the elements of a vector are positive. It will return a value of 1, true if all of the elements are positive, a value of 0, false if any of the elements are non-positive. Okay. So function signature, so that function. So res, we'll assign the result to res. What's the name of it? We're told to call it forAll, and we'll have an input of x. It'll be, say, the vector I want to check. Okay. So we said let's start by assuming that the answer is true. So if we start by assuming the answer is true, start with res is equal to 1. Then what I want to do is I want to loop over all of the elements of x and check to see if there's any that are negative, that are non-positive. Because if they're non-positive, then I know it's not true. I can exit and assign a value of false. So I'll loop for I is equal to 1 to length x. I'm going to end that 4 before I forget. And what I want to check is if the ith element of x is less than 0, it's negative, then that means false, res is equal to 0, and let's break out of the for loop. Okay, so break will exit out of the for loop, and then there's nothing else that happens after the for loop, and so res will just have a value of 0. So I'll save it for all. And so let's check it out. So if x is equal to 1:10, okay, all positive numbers, so for all of x, all right, should be true. Now if x instead went from 10 to -1 in increments of -1, and I check for all of this x, right, 0, false. Excellent, it works. Okay, and that's all there is to it. So remember with break, what break does is it will exit out of this for loop, and this works because there's nothing else that happens after the for loop. Okay, so this would be a case where you'd want to be careful of, or actually, let me think. Another way you could actually, another way you can actually do it then is if you put res at the end. All right, because it'll get to this with the break command. All right, so for that. Oh no, it doesn't work. It actually fails. So when it's false, the issue is it assigns it a value of 0, breaks out of the for loop, and then it gets to this assignment. Where if I go back to the original value of x, right, it'll work. All right, it gets 1, but for the wrong reason because I assigned it at the end. All right, so you need to be careful in terms of where you place that initial assignment. Okay, so here would have to come first, so it would get overwritten here. Okay, so we'll save that, and that's